In the annals of history, certain names are whispered rather than spoken, wrapped in caution and fear, as if even uttering them might summon something dreadful. One such name is the Morrison Sister, a shadowy figure believed to have lived in the late 19th century. Her tale has been buried beneath layers of folklore, faded police records, and the rotting leaves of a forgotten past. Yet her story, macabre and unsettling, still survives in fragments, hidden in rural diaries, asylum archives, and the memories of aging townsfolk in East Yorkshire. This is the story of a sister who never existed, or existed far too well. This is the macabre history of the Morrison Sister. The beginning. In 1874, the Morrison family arrived in the small village of Drymere, nestled deep in the Yorkshire moors. Thomas and Eleanor Morrison, a wealthy couple from London, moved into a vast stone manor inherited from Eleanor's late uncle. Their home, locally known as Crowden Gables, sat on a hilltop, shrouded in mist and surrounded by dense, thorny woods. The villagers avoided the estate, claiming strange sounds echoed from the manor at night, laughter and weeping in the same breath. The Morrisons had one child, Charlotte, a quiet girl with large blue eyes, pale skin, and a fondness for collecting dead birds. But soon after their arrival, villagers reported seeing two girls in the upper windows, identical, but only one ever came to town. "It's her sister," Charlotte would whisper when asked. "But she doesn't like people. She lives in the attic." The other one, birth of a legend. No birth record of a second Morrison child exists. No midwife remembers delivering twins. But as Charlotte grew older, she began to refer more frequently to Clara, her elusive twin. Teachers at the local parish school said Charlotte would write essays from Clara's perspective, vivid, articulate, but disturbing. One paper described dissecting a rabbit while it was still alive, signed Clara Morrison. Another told of suffocating a cat because its cries were too human. The townspeople grew uneasy. Charlotte often sat alone at recess, speaking aloud to someone beside her who wasn't there. When another child teased her, she screamed, "Clara will make you bleed." That very night, the boy's family dog was found mutilated on their doorstep. Charlotte denied involvement, but her eyes flickered with satisfaction. A mother's madness. Eleanor Morrison, once poised and proper, began to unravel. She stopped attending church. Servants reported that she slept during the day and roamed the halls at night, murmuring about shadows on the ceiling and voices in the wallpaper. One housemaid overheard Eleanor crying to her husband, saying, "We were only supposed to have one. I begged them to take the other one back." Soon after, Eleanor vanished. Her body was never found. A week later, Thomas Morrison was discovered hanged in the study, a childlike drawing pinned to his chest with a carving knife. The drawing depicted two girls holding hands, one smiling, one with black pits for eyes. Charlotte was found locked in the nursery, humming to herself, holding a doll that looked exactly like her. "Clara's with Mother now," she said. "She took her where the crows live." The asylum years. At just 9 years old, Charlotte was declared mentally unfit and committed to Blackwood Asylum. The institution, known for its brutal treatments and buried scandals, was nestled near the cliffs of Whitby. There, Charlotte became a fascination among the staff. She insisted that her twin sister was still alive and visiting her every night. Nurses swore they often saw Charlotte talking animatedly in her cell, her posture changing drastically as if becoming another person. Sometimes she spoke in voices not her own, deep, cold, guttural. One orderly described finding Charlotte unconscious with the word liar carved in her arm, the tool left beside her bed. The next night, the same word appeared on his own chest, slashed beneath his uniform. He quit the following morning and refused to ever speak of her again. Strange deaths and darker rumors. Between 1883 and 1891, 6 patients and 3 staff members died under mysterious circumstances at Blackwood. One patient was found drowned in an empty bathtub. Another hung herself using a curtain that had been removed the previous day. Rumors circled that Charlotte, or something inside her, was responsible. Some doctors began to theorize that Clara wasn't a sister, but a secondary personality created by trauma. But this didn't explain the cold spots, the scratching behind walls, or why Charlotte's room had to be repainted every month because the wallpaper would peel away in the shape of a girl's face. It was said that when Charlotte laughed, you could hear two voices overlapping, one light and childlike, the other dry and ancient. Escape and disappearance. In the winter of 1892, a fire engulfed the west wing of Blackwood Asylum. Amid the chaos, Charlotte vanished. Her cell was found unlocked, with a single word etched into the wall, "Together." Though many believed she perished in the flames, no body was ever found. And sightings of twin girls began to surface across the countryside. Two pale children in tattered dresses seen near wells, graveyards, or at the edge of forests. In one case, a shepherd claimed they approached his home, asking for their mother. When he let them in, he said they never blinked, never moved independently. He awoke the next morning with claw marks on his chest, and every mirror in his home shattered. The girls were never caught, and the sightings slowly dwindled. But every few decades, the legend reemerges. Whenever a child goes missing near Yorkshire moors, or when someone dreams of a girl with eyes like frost and whispers, "She's here." Folklore versus fact. Historians and folklorists still debate the Morrison sisters' authenticity. Was she a girl with severe dissociative identity disorder, made monstrous by the era's cruel institutions? Or was Clara something darker, an actual entity, a supernatural twin tethered to Charlotte's soul? Diaries from asylum nurses, hidden in private collections, describe shared dreams and electrical discharges whenever Charlotte grew agitated. One physician, Dr. Lionel Pritchard, wrote, "I do not treat a girl. I treat a door, a gate between this world and another." Blackwood Asylum was torn down in 1921, but local children still dare each other to step over its ruins. They say if you stand at the center of the foundation and whisper, "Where is Clara?" you'll hear scratching from underneath. The last known photograph. In 1933, an old photo surfaced in a private estate sale near Scarborough. It showed a young woman standing in a garden, wearing a Victorian dress, her face pale and calm. Behind her, almost obscured by vines, was a second girl, same height, same face, but her expression was blank and unearthly. The negative was tested by experts who claimed no signs of tampering. On the back of the photograph, in faded ink, were the words, "We are one. We were never two." The photo now sits in the Museum of the Occult in Edinburgh, encased in glass. Visitors report nausea when standing near it. Some claim the girl in the background moves when no one's looking. Final thoughts. Myth, madness, or a manifestation. Whether Charlotte Morrison was a disturbed child, a victim of psychological collapse, or the unwilling host to a supernatural force, her story continues to haunt the edges of our understanding. Her name may not be taught in schools, but it lingers in the air, cold, fragile, and waiting. The Morrison Sister reminds us that sometimes the scariest monsters are not those that come from the outside, but the ones we share our mind with. So the next time you feel like someone's watching you in the mirror, check twice. And if she looks just like you, turn around slowly. Because Clara never left.